Okay.
I just started on it and I'll be there.
As I was listening to your personal stories, I could tell that a number of you faced some challenges to come to Tyndale. Whether it was family challenges, it may be financial. I'm sure a number of you from the Rock made great challenges to come here. You probably thought, wow, I'm going to Toronto. How many is the first time to come to Toronto? Anybody? Here before, but I'm sure those from Newfoundland may have had that as a great challenge. I remember talking to one student and they said, my town is so small, I know every person's name in the town. In fact, I know every pet's name in the town. So that's the challenge of change. But the challenge that we would call that faces us as we attempt to follow God in ministry and training are many of the challenges that we face today. You may feel a bit homesick. You may be missing certain products from your province, such as this one. So some of the things that we face are being away from home, following God, finances, family, friends, in terms of ministry calling. So how do we face these trials? And I believe James gives us some great insight in facing trials from James chapter 1, verses 1 through 12. James, a servant of God and of the Lord Jesus Christ, to the 12 tribes scattered among the nations. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith develops perseverance. Perseverance must finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. If any of you lacks wisdom, he should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to him. But when he asks, he must believe and not doubt, because he who doubts is like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind. That man should not think he will receive anything from the Lord. He is a double-minded man, unstable in all he does. The brother in humble circumstances ought to take pride in his high position, but the one who is rich should take pride in his low position, because he will pass away like a wild flower. For the sun rises with scorching heat and withers the plant. Its blossoms falls, and its beauty is destroyed. In the same way, the rich man will fade even while he goes about his business. Blessed is the man who perseveres under trial, because when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life that God has promised to those who love him. So we see, with regard to trials, in James' day, that was persecution. None of us face those type of trials in the same way, but we have all of our sets of trials, whether they are Tyndale professors, roommates, friends, a lot of different circumstances that we have. But how do we face these trials? James encourages us that we need to face these life's challenges with God's joy. That's not the natural way. Are you like me that tend to complain, tend to get frustrated when these things happen? Here, James encourages us, consider it pure joy. Put on a happy face. Maybe laugh a bit for the trials that you're facing. It's not a natural response. It's a supernatural response. Remember, as a child, we used to sing that song, with Christ in the vessel, we can smile at the storm. Smile at the storm. Smile at the storm. Remember that? Yeah. As children, we used to sing those type of songs. And smile at the storm. And we used to go like this, put your happy face on. But that's the attitude we should have. Smile at the storm. It's supernatural. Why? It's because James is called a servant of God. Because he's following the Lord, he can have that strength. Also, it talks about those who love him. That because we love God, because we can draw from God's strength, then we can accomplish and have the joy. We also know in this passage that we see the product, that we will be mature and complete, not lacking in anything. We love the destination. We don't like the bumpy road along the way. But yet, the attitude we can have is the attitude of joy. We not only need the attitude of joy to face these trials, but the passage also encourages we need God's wisdom, not our own wisdom. When you face these challenges, what do? You Google it. You ask friends, you text a friend. You try to find some answer. But here, the passage is encouraging us. Go to God. Pray, because we need wisdom to go through these trials. We need not human wisdom or the ungodly wisdom, but we need the wisdom of God. Whether these trials in this context was poverty. We know a bit of that, don't we? Paying the bills, surviving. We need that. But we've also had times of riches, times of abundance, where we seem to forget God. Those are trials as well, and challenges. But we need to face those with God's wisdom. And we need to ask in faith, like the one who came to Jesus, help me with my unbelief. Right? It's not always the solid faith, but it's a reaching out to God, hanging on for dear life. These are the ways that we can experience the wisdom of God. The challenges that you face. What's the one that's forefront in your mind and heart today? Relational areas, study, health of a family member, just living with ourselves. That's often the daily challenge. Relating to others. How we face these is with God's joy and God's wisdom. So the next time the yogurt hits the fan, well, remember this passage. Not only put on the happy face, smile with the attitude, but also pray for wisdom that God can give you so we can face life's challenges with God's joy and also with God's wisdom.